your career has a lot to do with what you are outside of work, like whether you want to admit it or not. So if you want to be a surgeon, like think about it, can you work for 48 hours and then what are your days look like after that? So when you think of job shadowing,
it's not just the job, it's the whole life.
Right. You probably can't go home with them, but ask them what their life is like outside of work, you know?
Welcome back to Torch Talk, the show where we spotlight bold local leaders growing their businesses with grit and purpose. Today, we are joined by an inspiring marketing professional whose career weaves through social media, retail floors, customer service counters, and digital strategy boards. From product development to campaign execution, Sarah has seen the full picture and uses that unique lens to craft marketing that doesn't just look good, but also works. Welcome to my good friend, Sarah Mast.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining me on a nice Monday afternoon. And in typical Sarah Mast / mom function, we had to have multiple journeys on the way here, right?
Of course.
Like, how many fires can I put out before I get here?
Right.
Okay.
Well, you know, it has been a little more of a quiet Monday. I don't want to say that too loud, knock on wood, but I've had crazier Mondays, so I don't know about you, but it's been a good start to the week so far.
So I was super excited to talk to you on this marketing podcast because, well, we're not really a marketing podcast. We're just a podcast talking about business things, but you're my first actual marketing professional I get to talk to other than our team. So somebody from the outside. So you have a little bit more context to what we do. We're in the same world and we've known each other for it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute. So I don't even know how long.
When did you start coming to MCA?
11 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's when I would have met you.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
So Sarah and I have some history. We go to the same church, but we also used to be a part of the same marketing networking group where we met once a month. And it was just basically people in their marketing roles getting together and having like a shared common denominator of, hey, I am doing marketing in this organization. Is it working? Is it not working? What is working for you? And that was a very valuable group for a little while. We really, I get feedback all the time from different people when I run into them that they miss that.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a lot to orchestrate, but it was very valuable to me because I just got to hear, I think so much of the time you're focused on your own industry and it's nice to see what's going on in other industries and hear what other people are doing. So that was probably one of the things I took away from that was learning about other strategies in other industries outside of what I was working in.
Marketing can be super overwhelming because there's just so many things. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, it's good to know. It was just that group was good because you knew if you were focusing on the right things, but also it's just hard to stay up on trends. And sometimes it was the easiest way to get brought up to speed on everything. So
yeah, definitely.
Why don't you give everybody kind of a highlight journey of your career? I know you have been through a number of different roles, but tell everybody like kind of some of the different seats that you've had in marketing, a little bit of your journey.
Sure. So, I mean, going right back to the very beginning, whenever I graduated high school, I had no idea really what I wanted to do. I thought for a while I was going to be in IT. That is something that
in IT.
In IT.
What?
Very clearly not built for IT. Yes, I know.
You thought that you liked the idea of talking to somebody over the phone and helping them fix their problem?
I thought that I liked technology, actually, which, you know, is true. I still use that in my world today, in my marketing world, but obviously I'm not a good tech support person, or it was a career path that was in front of me as a high school kid. Mm-hmm. And like it was that, or like nursing or teaching or something along those lines, and marketing was just never really brought up to me. So I didn't really think of it as something I would be interested in anyways. But for a while I worked in a dental office, I worked in a bank, and then I ended up working at Weaver Leather, which is where I would
totally
say...
forgot you worked at the dental office.
Yeah. I did work in a dental office.
So I've actually known you since then because you worked at...
Yoder Dental.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
I used to assist Dr. Lanchman a long time ago. And that was a great time, too. I did enjoy that. So, but it, you know, I didn't think that I was really cut out for a career in that. I worked at a bank for a while, and then after that, I ended up at Weaver Leather, which is where I would say my like marketing career kicked off. I started in customer service and then moved to new product development, and for one of their divisions. I really enjoyed it. I really got interested as the new products were getting developed. I got interested in the packaging side of things and how we take these products to market, what happens after they're launched, how do we promote them, who do we connect with as far as influencers or, social media, what kind of channels can we get these products, new products out to the market and make people aware of them. I also was exposed to like a whole world of branding and what does it mean to have consistency with fonts and colors and what is a brand? How do you build it? So that's where I would say I was exposed to marketing. And after a while, I was really interested in pursuing that for what I did. And at the time, my manager really encouraged me to go to school for it. And I was probably in my mid-20s at the time, and I thought there was no way that that's in my future. I'm already married. I have some kids, or I had a kid. There was no way that was in the cards for me. I soon learned that if I wanted to grow, there was an education needed for me. And on paper, that is what probably needed to happen for some more growth anyway. So I decided in 2018 to go back to school and one class at a time earn my associate's degree in business administration. So that was the first kind of like bite that I took out of the education side of things. In the meantime, I was working part-time in a marketing role at Weaver. So yeah, that was kind of a blur. I had my second daughter the semester that I went back to college, actually. So I definitely had a lot going on, but looking back, it was so good for me. And I think I learned what I was made of as I was, up late at night.
Being a mother alone will teach you that.
Exactly.
Let alone going back to college in the middle of all of that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was a really trying time, but I had a lot of good support, and that was the key. So after I finished my associate's degree, I just decided, you know what, I want to keep going. And I ended up going for a bachelor's degree. And then soon after that, this kind of a scramble of things happened. COVID hit. Unfortunately, I left Weaver because my childcare wasn't available when it was time to return to the office after we had all been remote for so long. So I just did some freelance marketing here and there. And then soon after that, I got connected with someone I met through the marketing group who works at the Kime company. They asked if I would be interested in looking at an open role or a role that was possibly opening. So I said yes, that would be great. And as I started my job at Kime, I finished my bachelor's degree, and then I had another baby. And I was like, you know what, while I'm still part-time and I have a little bit more capacity, like I want to finish my graduate degree. So I have an associate's in business administration, a bachelor's in business administration, and a master's in marketing with a digital focus. So that's kind of what led me to here, where I've had a couple different roles at Kime, and in January I accepted the opportunity to be the director of marketing there.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. And I was with you for most of those things, so it was actually
Yes.
great to view that firsthand and just talk to you, to remember back on those different phases. Your oldest daughter is the same age as my youngest daughter. So it's always fun to, like, from the outside, watch somebody else's journey.
Yeah.
I definitely know what it's like on the inside. Like, you're raising kids, you're going to, like, the blurriness of it. But to watch somebody else when you know that they're going to be successful is really fun. And I know that we've talked a lot in and out of, like, should I do this, not this? Like, there's been lots of conversations over those last 10 plus years.
Right.
So.
And I should take the opportunity to thank you for being encouraging through it, because it was quite a journey. And I really appreciated the people who were who saw the potential and believed that I could do it. And I know you never missed an opportunity to tell me, like, keep going, you've got this. So
You do.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So what do you, like, in thinking about what you have learned about marketing, Is there certain, actually, hot take? Let's get a hot take first. What's your favorite social media platform? Don't be afraid.
Okay,
this is honest and authentic. Don't be afraid.
To use as a marketing tool or
No,
to
for
scroll
you.
on myself. I like being on TikTok. I think that algorithm is just curated so well. It knows me so well. And I think that the craziest stuff can, like, it has a place on TikTok. So
I love TikTok too.
Yeah.
And I will fly that flag all day long. Like it is my favorite, probably partially because we're in marketing. So like my Facebook kind of sucks because I'm on like 75 pages. So it's all flooded with everything. It's not for me, you know, and it's actually really hard to find the information, but it's interesting to think about TikTok because I remember, 4 or 5 years ago around COVID, everybody downloaded it while they were at home.
Yep.
Everybody resists it. But truly, it has changed the marketing world. Like now, Facebook and Instagram feed posts or content to people who don't necessarily follow you, which is not how it was pre-COVID.
Right.
But TikTok is the reason that everybody does those things. So it's very interesting. It's like a love-hate. Anyway, I was just curious. Now, from a business standpoint, is there any difference that you would have? You're like, oh, for marketing, I love this.
So I've actually not had the opportunity to use TikTok for a business
Purpose.
business purpose. I would say Facebook and Instagram is pretty much where I've stuck for a while. So I don't have a whole lot of experience with using TikTok as, an outlet or a channel for a business, but I think it's great. I love when businesses can just be funny and real and authentic. And I think, like I said, TikTok is the place for that because no one takes anything seriously there.
You can't. Well, there is some. Like
Sure.
you have like when I was huge into running, I followed Run Talk, and there was all like you have your little communities. Of,
Right.
Like if I actually have my Fierce, like my personal branded channel, and on that I follow more leadership stuff, and that is some serious.
That's
but
true.
I'm consuming it in the right place. We were actually talking about that before. Like I have my Fierce TikTok and I have my personal one, and I don't want them to cross because I really like my personal feed.
That's true.
the
That's
way
true.
that it is.
For sure.
Have you dabbled in Pinterest at all? I'm just curious.
I have as a business a channel for business purposes. Yes, I have dabbled in Pinterest.
How have you seen, what kind of success have you seen with that? What works, what doesn't work?
It's really crazy what kind of impressions you can get on Pinterest actually. And, one thing I will say, maybe it's changed since this happened, but I remember, running an ad on Pinterest once, and you have to be very precise on when it shuts off. Or it'll just like run for. I remember a bill being like super high, and I told my manager, "Oh, sorry." This was back when I was at another position. It's like I did not mean for this ad to be this much, and she was like, "Oh, you know what? It's fine. We got really good impressions from it, so it actually better impressions than like other platforms." So I think Pinterest is a great place to when you have customers that are needing ideas or vision. It's a good place to reach them because they might already be there looking. So, yeah.
We have not, Fierce is 4 years old, and we've had to work with a lot of clients on building foundationally, like their marketing strategies from the ground up. And so I think Facebook and Instagram is the foundation. If you're not there, then we got to start somewhere. Just in the last year, so last fall, we had a few clients that we identified would be good with the Pinterest side. And, that's why I was just curious to see if you had any specifics with success. It's been interesting to see the views. It's a little bit crazy to think about because of where people can view that from. So who cares if somebody in China or Russia or Europe or wherever sees my post? I don't know. I don't know if Pinterest, the algorithm, knows its audience as well. I don't even know all the things. We could go down a rabbit trail with that. The reality is, who cares if somebody in California sees this pin if they're not in Ohio and my service-based client is in Ohio? So it's always made sense to me from an e-commerce or standpoint. Yes, I have a product I can sell online, but how do we utilize and harness this well for service-based businesses? But there is a fair amount of research that goes into that. So like in your role now, people, if they're coming to Kime to buy home products, they're probably doing research before they come there. Same with a lot of our clients. Like if somebody's going to build a composite deck, there's a fair amount of research that's happening before that.
Right.
So if we can harness some of that web traffic, then we don't see, we've seen success. I don't know that we have it all 100% nailed down yet, but do you have any things, because I feel like marketing has changed so much. It's changed a lot just in the 4 years of Fierce, but also I feel like we're in the middle of some pretty big changes right now. And I can share a little bit more about that, but I'm curious, like, what are you seeing and feeling on your end? Anything that you feel like is shifting, like with the adoption of AI? For us, I can give a little bit more insight while you're thinking about it. Like for us, what some of the things we're seeing, like on social media, there's lots of talk about follower count going away, where all of our clients want to, followers is a KPI that people can easily understand and measure. But the reality is, it used to be easier to grow a Facebook page to 20,000 followers, and it's not really a thing anymore. Mm-hmm. It's more on impressions, engagement, sharing, things like that. On the SEO side, with the popularity of ChatGPT and other AIs, and with Google Gemini coming out, we're seeing some really drastic numbers in organic search traffic, and the way that we are producing content for websites is changing like constantly right now.
Interesting.
It is actually, it's really wild.
I think maybe I've been just in the trenches a little bit too much with a couple of projects, and I haven't had I haven't done a ton of research on it. I think the way that AI has maybe impacted my job directly is just, it's been a resource for me to like ask it questions or help me come up with captions or some kind of journey, a home buyer journey. It's not necessarily that, but that's just an example. I haven't really...
I absolutely agree. I remember sitting in our marketing group 4 or 5 years ago, and the guys coming in and talking about AI, and I literally was like, la, 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 I don't want to. And
I remember
we were talking about TikTok, and they were like, la, la, like they did not want to hear about TikTok.
Yep.
Now, I can't imagine not having ChatGPT in my daily life. Yeah. It's not replacing what we do, but yes, to like help me organize my thoughts, make sure I'm not missing something, looking for blind spots, so many things. And we use it a lot to customize marketing strategies with our clients individually. It's a super powerful tool when it comes to that. Have you done any, because we have dabbled in this, do you ever search for products, services, or anything on that service yet?
I did need an outfit for a specific occasion, and I told ChatGPT like the attire, when I need it by, my price range, my size. Like I gave it a couple of attributes of what I'm looking for, and it absolutely generated a list for me. It was kind of crazy, actually.
So links to the products, and then you could utilize. Did you buy anything?
So I ended up not going with a dress after all, but what I asked it to generate for me, it totally did. So yeah, I changed my mind for a different outfit and went another direction. But yeah, it was really kind of scary how close and accurate that.
Do you use, I'm going to come back to that, but do you use any social platforms for search engines? Like, would you have gone to Pinterest or Instagram or TikTok and looked for the same?
For that instance specifically, maybe TikTok, but I don't know about Instagram or Facebook.
Right. Yeah. Because you wouldn't think that it would.
I don't think it has the capabilities just yet.
Do you use any of those platforms for shopping?
I have purchased some things, but I try really hard. I'm actively trying not to buy things right now on. But I have noticed that on Instagram, there's like AI search generations now that come up. Even if you're just looking at a reel, like it might have that little search that says, shop dresses with, whatever material or fabric or. So that's been kind of interesting to see.
It is. Well, also, since I'll just give you all the tea, since you've been deep in some projects, did you know that Instagram is now, what's the word? It's being linked on Google, so it'll show up in organic Google search results.
Really?
Yes.
How interesting.
Which
Okay.
it used to be very closed source, so Google wouldn't have been able to do that. And I had my first thing I searched, it pulled Instagram videos and posts into my organic Google search. Yes, wild. So we have been talking for 2 years about how the copy in our posts is super important because of search. It's search everywhere optimization is what I'm hearing, but like, you know, some people will, when I ask people that question, it's always interesting to hear the different stories. Some people will go directly to Instagram if they need something and they'll search for it there. Whether it's inspiration, they might do that over Pinterest. I personally have gotten to the point where if I'm shopping for something, I go straight to TikTok and I'm searching for it there, and I buy a lot from TikTok Shop. Maybe not more than Amazon, but it might be my number 2.
Okay.
So I love buyer behavior. Like, why am I doing what I'm doing and who's doing the things? But having the ability for those posts and things to show up inside Google organic search results is really crazy.
That is crazy.
And it connects. I like it, actually. Let's connect all the platforms so it's not so fragmented, so that what I post on social also has impact here. It brings more value to social media, I think, in a business owner's mind when there's more results in there, you know.
It sounds like a lot of less work too, you know, and less spend maybe even needed if you if you can create if you can get the right keywords in your captions and things like that.
It's just, I mean, so it's going to be really interesting with AI to see what happens over the next year or two, mostly from a search perspective and how that ties with social, but also from a paid ad perspective, because it really changes the way we consume ads as well. So I don't know. That's why I said I feel like we're in the middle of it, and 2 years from now we'll look back and be like, oh, that was a lot of changes. Kind of like when the iPhone came out.
Yes.
And then you don't really realize how many things are going to be impacted by smartphone changes. And then you're like, oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But I feel something shifting. And maybe it's because we're deep in the weeds all the time.
It
so
could
I can
be. Yeah.
definitely see that. So do you feel like in all of your different marketing roles, do you feel like marketing is, I'm trying to think of the right way to frame the question. How valued do you feel like marketing is? From a leadership perspective, do you feel like generally from leadership teams that you've worked with, it's been something that they really understand and can get behind, or has it been another position where you're really feeling like you're trying to drag them along, like, hey, we really should be doing this? What has your experiences been like?
You know, okay, this is maybe not the direct answer to your question, but we were just talking about how things have changed. And I remember when influencers were a thing, like when they became a thing, and trying to get my boss to realize, like, we should get some of our products in the hands of these people with these big followings and accounts. So trying to get someone to see the value of that when you can't always track
the ROI.
The ROI, and how much does it really cost? How much does it really impact? How can we directly relate these sales, unless there's a code or some kind of link, of course, but what kind of value does that have? How do you really put a dollar on brand awareness? Like things like that. Those have always been something that I've gotten to take on, I think, in my roles. Like, hey, this is a valuable, this could be valuable. Just like trust me on it, I think, is one of the things that I've been fortunate to have some opportunities to try. Does that make any sense? I've been fortunate to work with budgets that allow us to do marketing on the level that we need to get results and see direct impact on sales. So yeah, I think that where I've worked, I'm very lucky that my teams and leadership teams see value in it, for sure. I know it's not the case for everybody. I wish it was, but yeah. They
usually, in my experience, everybody knows they need it. They just don't know that they want it. It's like this. It's like Walmart.
Right.
Like you know you need it, but you don't really want to do it.
Right.
Not everybody is like that, but I always laugh at some of the marketing TikToks that I get, because it's like there's the one where she's like, this is just my job, you're in marketing. Like she's talking herself off of a ledge. And I think in general, because the things we do are so intangible and not easily understood sometimes, it's so subjective that it can be a really stressful environment for some people sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So it, like for me, sometimes it gets a little exhausting because you're like, just, would you believe me already? Like, yes, you need to spend this amount on marketing. Let's just do this.
Right.
Like, why are we going to talk about it for 6 months? So,
Sure. I get that.
Okay. So not to out you, but Sarah is a little bit of an undercover influencer slash, like, I don't know what you want to call it, but you're pretty special.
We're not going to out the handles here, okay?
Okay. So we're not going to out the handles, but Sarah has an obsession with a TV show, which we're not going to mention, that has launched into a bunch of other ideas. So social media and a podcast, and you've seen a fair amount of success. You were just invited to a really awesome event, which is amazing.
Sure.
So tell us, I guess, a little bit, like, what is that experience? First of all, let me just say publicly that I think, I said this before we started filming, I think it actually gives you credibility. Like, at the very beginning, I understand why it was a little bit, like...
embarrassing and cringy.
Yeah, you're trying to build a professional career, and
Sure.
you don't want to be perceived the wrong way.
Right.
And, like, we're in a very small conservative community, and so what is people at church going to think about if they
Sure.
see... You know, like, I totally understand.
Yeah.
And I feel that to some degree, like, especially, like, with putting my personal brand out there and things like that, like, actually... Then maybe this will make you feel better. My husband and brother-in-law like to watch videos that I'm in when we're at home at night, and I'm like, la 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 la. I don't want to watch myself. I don't want to hear it. And then they want to critique it and talk about it in detail. And I'm like, no, please, next. Yes, see. So I really do understand, but I just want to say it's been awesome to see that success. So not only your career, but also this. And I think at this point, the point that you've reached, it proves that you know what you're talking about. Like, you know what is going to resonate with audiences. You've seen success with it. And I think you're getting to the point where you should feel, like, proud of that and not embarrassed by it. So,
Well, thanks, Lindsey. I appreciate that.
I'm curious, though, like, what, like, you share as much as you want to share,
Sure.
but, like, what do you see working? What do you like about this? Like, where do you see this even going?
Yeah, I mean, it's always just been for fun for me, but I think I've gotten to use flex my marketing muscles throughout the whole journey. I do love this one series, and I had downloaded TikTok just like everyone else during the pandemic. And so I made a video because I knew that if you post it, it saves to your camera roll and you can send it to your friends that way. So that's what I did. I was trying to make a funny video to share with my friends. And a few weeks later, I was getting my hair done, and my hairdresser was like, "Oh, I saw your TikTok." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I logged back on, and it had gone viral. And I was like, wow, there must be like a niche out there. Like, other people love this book and TV series. And so I kind of just kept making content about it. And my account grew really, like, it took off because I didn't have a whole lot to do. It was COVID. So I met a lot of cool people through there. My friend and I, Jess, we made some videos together. And then, yeah, we both just started creating content. And not long after, someone had the idea that we should do a podcast about the books and TV show. So we decided to launch that in November of 2023, I believe. So it's been just over a year. We have about 80 or 90 episodes. And people have really had a huge response to it. So it's been really fun. There was a prequel announced to the series, and Jess and I got asked to be the hosts for the live stream in LA this past Monday. So that was a week ago. Which is why I had to reschedule this with you in the first place. So thanks for understanding. But we have cast and crew and all kinds of people that have worked on this series as guests on our podcast.
I saw the videos of the red carpet, and I was like, you had to be dying on the inside right now.
We were. And they asked us because there's this healthy balance of, we are fans at heart, but we also have experience with interviewing, and we like to think of ourselves as, as professional as we can be because we take it very seriously. So,
you weren't fangirling out in the middle of it. Yeah.
Well, we had the skills that we needed for the interviews, and we could kind of keep ourselves composed. But there were a few moments where we were like, did that just happen? Is this real life? That kind of thing. So it was really fun, and I can't believe I was part of that. I'm really blessed. Honestly, at the end of the day, the account has been fun to run. The podcast has been fun to run, but I would say, like, I'm just thankful for the friendships that have come out of it. My co-host, Jess, is, like, my best friend. She's become my best friend through this all. We're such a good team. And people reach out to us all the time and tell us how much it means, like, that we share not just about this series that we all love and we can kind of, like, escape reality, I think is the biggest thing. It's a fictional series, so it's this, like, gateway into just something fun that's not politics or terrible news for an hour out of your day. But we talk about, like, my work journey and what Jess does at home. She homesteads kind of and things like that. People came up to us at the premiere and they told me, like, I'm an inspiration because they want to do big things, and just because they're married and have kids, like, they've seen me do things, it's not stopping them. I don't know, like, I truly don't deserve, I think, some of the love that has come from it, but that has been, yeah, it's been really cool to see how it's grown, and it's just fun.
Yes. Well, and I love that it's just fun for you.
Yeah.
And honestly, keep the fun, because we all need something like that in our lives. And you occasionally get to travel and do really fun things with that. So I love it. And maybe one day you'll just be, like, putting it all out for the
I'll be
world,
brave
and you'll
enough
feel
someday.
great about it.
Yes.
Because you have a podcast and Torch Talk is new, do you have any advice for us?
Oh,
like,
man.
what would you say? So, like, our goal is to share business resources with local business leader. I mean, any business leader, but we want to make it practical. So, like, I've interviewed a number of people that I have relationships with. So I don't want to make it all about marketing, though marketing is a huge function of business. So we will end up talking about it. But if there's any advice that you'd give for us, or, you know, like, from what you've seen be successful, the type of content that you think would be good.
Sure. Well, you're already ahead of us with, like, a professional editing team here and, like, your setup and your lights. We're just remote. So I actually have a corner of my closet that I have carved out, and that's where I sit to record my podcast. I would say, like, just engaging with people who are listening and tuning in and making sure that those questions get answered and acknowledged. One thing that we've started doing that has been super popular is, like, taking calls from a hotline, and people can, like, call in. There's a service that we use. They just leave a voice memo or a recording, and we play it on our podcast, and then we respond to it after we listen to it. And I think that helps people really feel like they're involved and they're literally being heard.
That would be interesting, especially if we had, like, a schedule and people knew who was, like, they knew Brian Miller, the CEO of Previa, is going to be on the show, then
Call in with some questions.
Yes.
Sure.
That is interesting. We probably, a great way to increase engagement, number one, and also actually put content out there people really care about.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So you can put a podcast out there and talk about all these, like, interesting points that are all very great, but there's a bunch of people that might have different questions that you haven't even thought about. So
yeah,
I think that was a really cool strategy for us to try. It's probably
that.
my best recommendation.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Second question. We'll wrap up soon here, but I'm curious. So we have a very young team. So we are hiring a lot of people who are coming fresh out of college. They're starting their careers. I was kind of chuckling on the inside when you were talking about high school because, well, first of all, my Peyton, because we both have Peytons.
Right,
my Peyton is
we
a
do.
senior. She's leaving for college next week. And
Can't get over that.
what 18-year-old kid knows what they want to do? You don't know. I also did not know that marketing was something I would end up in. I could go, that's a whole nother talk about why. But even the ones who are graduating from college really don't always have a good idea
Right.
of what, because marketing is so many things. Actually, our SEO specialist went to school for IT security and cyber. He wanted to go into job in cybersecurity, and he couldn't find. It was very difficult for him to find something. So we basically was like, try this. Let's try this, and he actually really likes his job now.
Yeah.
So, any advice, though, that you'd give to somebody freshly graduating from college, knowing that they're going into the marketing world? Like, if you could look at somebody and say, this is, here's some advice from you've been through a career journey, you're not done yet, but, like, if I could go back to my 22-year-old self and give myself any advice, here's what I wish I could tell you.
Well, I think there's times where I wish that I would have known what I wanted to do as soon as I graduated high school and then, like, gone straight to college and got the degree that I wanted and started a career as soon as I was 22 years old or whatever. But honestly, all of the things that led me to where I'm at today, like, they played a part. Like, I learned things in those, you know, in those roles. Like, I got some real life experience at the dental office. Like, it was a lot of dog eat dog, and there was some tense situations that I just learned some really good life experience that if I was on a college campus, I probably wouldn't have learned. So I hate to be like, head straight to college and figure out what you want to do. That's not really the best advice. But I think my best advice is don't pigeonhole yourself in any way. Don't make decisions when you're 22 or 18 that restrict you from experiencing anything else outside of your, like, you might think you want to do something, but give yourself a couple years and make sure, you know, and you're
you don't actually know what it's like till you start doing it. So
you're still so young. And another thing, if you ever get the chance to job shadow someone, I've actually always said, like, you really should be job shadowing people after they leave work and before they get in, because that is, your life is what happens after your 9 to 5. Like, your career has a lot to do with what you are outside of work, like whether you want to admit it or not. So if you want to be a surgeon, like, think about it. Can you work for 48 hours? And then what do your days look like after that? So when you think of job shadowing,
it's not just the job, it's the whole life.
Right. You probably can't go home with them, but ask them what their life is like outside of work, you know?
Yeah. Yes. That's good advice. That's not one I had thought about yet.
How much do they bring home with them after their day is done? Are they working? Like, I know people, I've met them through this job, like, they're working late into the night, even though you would have no idea. They work until 1 o'clock in the morning, or they're editing all night, or they're traveling all the time, you know, Garrett. Just stuff like that you wouldn't really think of, because you only see these, like, snapshots of what their life
I would
is
say
like.
for sure in the marketing world, number one, Fierce looks really, really fun. And we are, but, like, it is not all sunshine and rainbows all the time. Like, there's some really hard moments of work here. So
there's a grind.
There's a grind for sure. But in general, marketing has become a more popular choice of study, I think, because it seems very attractive and it seems very fun. But there's just a lot of things that are not. So advertisement for the world, we open our doors for job shadowing all the time and always have internships. So if you're interested in marketing, come see us, because we're always open for that conversation. But Peyton's getting ready to go. And I've always said to all my kids, if you want to go to school for something, I want you to go experience it. So she's going for speech pathology. She's job shadowed multiple times for, like, and all different studies too, because she looked at some of the other fields of study. She wants to work with children, but she knew she didn't want to be a teacher. So there's a chance that she may not end up doing this forever, but that is also my advice whenever I talk to kids in high school who are thinking about, well, maybe I want to do this. You need to get in front of it. But I love that you said, what is your life outside of that? Because maybe they would love the 9 to 5, but yes, you know, we don't always understand what is going to come along with that, the side effects of that. And, like, what are your relationships like? And maybe you should interview the kids. How do the kids feel?
Right. I mean, your job has a lot to do with who you are as a person.
Yeah. I also love, though, that you said you look back and you, like, your journey is your journey. You have learned, it's so valuable to look back and know the lessons that you've learned with that. Like, my journey is definitely not perfect. It took me 8 years to finish college, and I went for 2 years in high school. Like, there was no reason that it took me that long, but just life, like, you know, choices. There's so many different aspects of that. You know, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, though, if I didn't have those stepping stones leading in that way. So that's also valuable, just to be able to look back and say, you know what, that experience really sucked for me while I was in it, but it's super valuable, and I learned a lesson from that, and that's great advice. I love that as well.
Definitely.
All right, Sarah, thanks for joining me today for Torch Talk. I really enjoyed catching up with you.
Yes,
and hopefully
this was so fun.
Some advice that somebody will want to take with them.
Thanks so much for having me, Lindsey. This was so much fun.
Thanks, Sarah.